Welcome to NDTV News. I'm Sarah Dadewe Apa. Here are the opening highlights. Bayelsa government clarifies Akemfa Bridge ownership following protest. Bond sets December 11 as Nigeria Broadcasting Awards Day. Plus, INEC Chairman Professor Joash Amu-Piton says electoral reforms non-negotiable. And now the details. The Bayelsa State government has distanced itself from responsibility for the delayed completion of the Akemfa Bridge following a protest on Tuesday that disrupted traffic along the busy Mbiama-Yenagoa Road. Residents of Akemfa community had barricaded the major highway, accusing the state government of abandoning the bridge project, which has lingered for years without completion. However, in a statement issued on Thursday by Commissioner for Information, Orientation and Strategy, Honorable Mrs. Ebiwa Koku Obiai, clarified that the Akemfa Bridge project is no longer under the control of the Bayelsa State government, but rather the responsibility of the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC. The commissioner also said the bridge project was originally awarded by Shell Petroleum Development Company, SPDC, in 2000, before being taken over by the NDDC. She explained that the state government had sought to intervene in 2023 to expedite completion after years of delay, leading to discussions between the state and the NDDC. Obiai described the protest as ill-advised and misdirected, stressing that the leadership of Akemfa was aware that the project had reverted to the NDDC's supervision. She also expressed disappointment over what she termed as attempts by community leaders to play politics with development issues. The commissioner assured residents that the state government would engage the NDDC to ensure that the project does not face further delays. She also appealed to the Akemfa community to exercise restraint and avoid actions that could disrupt public order or impede the movement of residents. President Bola Tinubu has approved major changes in the leadership of Nigeria's armed forces in a move aimed at strengthening the nation's security architecture. Under the new appointments, General Olufemi Oluyede replaces General Christopher Musa as Chief of Defense Staff. Major General W. Shaibu becomes Chief of Army Staff. Air Vice Marshal S.K. Aneke takes over as Chief of Air Staff, while Rear Admiral I. Abbas assumes office as Chief of Naval Staff. The Chief of Defense Intelligence, Major General E.A.P. Ondiendeye, retains his position. The President commended the outgoing service chiefs for their patriotic service and dedicated leadership, while urging the new appointees to justify the confidence reposed in them and uphold the professionalism, vigilance, and unity that define the armed forces of Nigeria. All appointments take immediate effect. The Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, has assured that its 650-bed hostel complex at the Niger Delta University in Amasoma, Bayelsa State will be completed and inaugurated next month. Correspondent Mumeya Wonkuya has the report.
Speaking during an inspection of the project, the NDDC Management Director, Dr. Samuel Obuku, stated that the Commission was committed to enhancing the educational development in the Niger Delta region. Obuku, who inspected the project in the company of the Vice Chancellor of NDU, Professor Allen Agi, the NDDC Executive Director, Project, Dr. Victor Antai, and other directors of the Commission, stated that it was part of the Commission's effort to build the capacity of universities in the Niger Delta region. He observed that the completion of the students' hostel followed a directive from President Bola Tinubu to ensure that all legacy projects in the Niger Delta were completed and commissions as quickly as possible. The NDDC board reaffirmed the Commission's commitment to strengthen collaboration with NDU in key areas, including infrastructural development, research, and youth empowerment initiatives, to improve sustainable growth and development across the region. Obuku stated that the NDDC has built similar hostels at other universities across the Niger Delta region. Speaking during a courtesy call at the University Senate building, earlier the NDDC boss urged Nigerian universities to invest more resources and energy in research to ensure their self-sustainability. In his remarks, the Vice Chancellor of Niger Delta University, Professor Allen Agui, commended the NDDC for its sustained support in advancing education and infrastructure in the Niger Delta region. He, however, called for more support in the areas of electricity and staff quarters for both academic and non-academic staff of the university. Professor Agui remarked that collaboration with the NDDC was imperative, given the university limited resources to pursue its objective of positively impacting the Niger Delta region. The Vice Chancellor thanked the NDDC for donating electricity generators and transformers to the university and appealed for further assistance in addressing the university power supply challenges. He expressed hope that, upon completion, the hostel would address the long-standing accommodation shortage that had affected students at NDU. According to the Vice Chancellor, many undergraduates currently reside off-campus in remote communities, often encountering daily problems with transportation, safety, and limited access to campus facilities. The NDDC Managing Director and his team also inspected the 50-bed Amasoma Hospital, where he pledged to increase capacity to 150 beds and to include a pediatric ward, an intensive care unit, and a laboratory. Mumeya Wonkoya reporting for NDTV News.
The Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, has unveiled a state-of-the-art strategic naval location at Ayakoro community in Ogbia local government area of Bayelsa State. The facility, which was built by the NDDC and presented to the Nigerian Navy in keeping with the Commission's promise of ensuring the security and safety of the Niger Delta for sustainable development. Correspondent Taripredo Ikide was there and now reports.
The Niger Delta Development Commission, in keeping to our promise of transforming the Niger Delta through strategic and deliberate developmental projects, has unveiled the state-of-the-art strategic naval infrastructure at Ayakoro community to curb insecurity on the waterways. In their goodwill messages, Governor Doye Diri and others applauded the NDDC for the project and urged all the parties involved to ensure the smooth running of the facility through effective collaboration.
For security measures to be effective and sustainable, they must be accompanied by genuine engagements with local communities and by opportunities for youth development. To the people of Ayakoro and Ogbia local governments, I call on you to continue to partner with the Navy and other security agencies. Your cooperation, provision of timely intelligence, and support are indispensable to preventing crime, protecting infrastructure, and fostering an environment where lawful economic activities can prosper.
I want to assure the Niger Delta Commission and the Nigerian Navy through the Central Naval Command, the Navy will spare no effort to ensure that the objectives for which the security projects are provided will be fully realized. I want to assure the host community that the Nigerian Navy will work tirelessly towards enhancing the security challenge of the life and property of Ayakoro community and in the environs.
I am immensely grateful to the Almighty God for our son, Chief Dr. Samuel Obuku, whose foresight and collaborative efforts has culminated in the establishment of this naval base in Ayakoro community. This naval base will ensure safety in our waters and safety of our people, and also help to boost the economy of the area.
In his speech, Managing Director of the NDDC, Chief Samuel Obuku, while appreciating the Nigerian Navy and other security outfits for promoting peace in the Niger Delta, stated that the security facility will not only curb crime in the waterways, but also bring development to Ayakara community, Bayelsa State, and the Niger Delta in general, as intended by the President Ahmed Tinubu's renewed hope agenda.
The project is aimed at protecting and providing security for the waterways of the Niger Delta. Because every waterway is a gateway for criminals to perpetrate crime. But not until we're able to secure all our waterways, we will not be able to curb criminality. On behalf of the Niger Delta Development Commission, thank the Nigerian Navy and the Nigerian Armed Forces for all your support and sacrifices, dedication to the peace and security of the Niger Delta.
High points of the occasion was the signing of deed of gift by the NDDC, Nigerian Navy and Ayakoro Community Council of Chiefs, and the official unveiling of the facility. Tari Prido Ikidi reporting for NDTV News.
Thanks, Tari. Moving on now. As concerns grow over the future of Nigeria's democracy, Senator Henry Seraki Dixon has called for urgent and far-reaching electoral reforms to strengthen the nation's democratic institutions and restore public confidence in the system. Correspondent Flourish Ibitimi has the details.
Speaking during deliberations on the electoral bill in the Senate on Thursday, Dixon, who represents Bayelsa West in the 10th National Assembly, said that the legislature must deliver a comprehensive reform that will place Nigeria's electoral system on a globally respected footing. The People's Democratic Party senator warned that the sustainability of Nigeria's democracy depends on bold institutional reforms, stressing that without a credible electoral process, democracy would remain merely symbolic. Dixon advocated a major shift in Nigeria's electoral jurisprudence, proposing that the burden of proving the credibility of an election should rest with the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, rather than aggrieved petitioners. He questioned the continued reliance of the common law rule that he who alleges must prove in election petitions, noting that the candidates have no control over the electoral process. The senator also urged greater adoption of technology to ensure transparency and accountability in elections, emphasizing that digital systems beyond the current BVAS and card reader technologies should be fully deployed and adequately funded. He identified political parties as the biggest challenge to Nigeria's democratic progress, accusing them of internal undemocratic practices that undermine credible elections. He called for stronger regulatory oversight to enforce transparency, internal democracy, and accountability in party administration. Dixon lamented Nigeria's failure to build on the democratic milestones achieved under late President Umaru Musa Yar'Adua and former President Goodluck Jonathan, whose historic concession in 2015 strengthened the nation's democratic image. He cited Ghana as an example of democratic maturity in Africa, recalling how the ruling party candidates in a recent presidential election conceded defeats even before the final results were announced. He urged his colleagues to make electoral reform the defining legacy of the 10th Senate, saying such an effort would rebuild public trust and restore faith in Nigeria's democracy. Flourish Justin, reporting for NDTV News.
The Broadcasting Organization of Nigeria, BON, has announced that the 2025 edition of the Nigeria Broadcasting Awards TNBA will take place on Thursday, December 11, 2025 in Abuja. Chairman of BON and Director General of the Nigerian Television Authority (NTA), Comrade Saliu Abdullah Hamid Dembos, disclosed this at a press conference in Abuja on Thursday. He said the awards, now in its second edition, will once again celebrate excellence, innovation, and professionalism in Nigeria's broadcast media industry. Dembos recalled that the maiden edition of the TNBA, held on May 17, 2023, at Echo Hotels in Lagos, and was a resounding success, attracting participation from more than 200 public and private broadcast organizations across the country. The event, he said, was endorsed by all BON member stations during the association's 75th General Assembly under the leadership of Mr. John Ugbe, Chief Executive Officer of MultiChoice Nigeria Limited. According to him, the awards were instituted to promote media excellence and responsible broadcasting, while fostering a healthy spirit of competition among radio and television practitioners. He noted that preparations for the 2025 edition began in February 2025, following the endorsement of a steering committee chaired by Mr. Bayo Awo-Shemo of Arise TV. The call for entries ran from July 1 to August 31, 2025, covering broadcast materials produced between January 1 and December 31, 2024. Dembos revealed that 204 entries were received, 85 for television, 104 for radio, 1 special entry, and 12 unspecified entries. Awards will be presented in 12 categories, each for radio and television, in addition to posthumous and special recognition awards. Dembos commended the TNBA Steering Committee for its dedication and professionalism in putting the 2025 awards process in place, expressing confidence that the event will further elevate the standards of Nigeria's broadcasting industry. The BON chairman said the forthcoming ceremony expected to attract over 2,000 guests from across the country, promises to be even more glamorous than the inaugural edition. You're watching news on Niger Delta Television. On the headlines, Bayelsa government clarifies Akemfa Bridge ownership following protest. BON sets December 11 as Nigeria's Broadcasting Awards Day. We'll take a short break now. When we return, INEC Chairman Professor Josh Amo-Pitan says electoral reforms non-negotiable. We'll bring you details of these and other reports after the break. Stay with us.
Welcome to the 14th Bayelsa State Annual Thanksgiving Service.
We give thanks with a grateful heart.
The government and people of Bayelsa State invite you to the 14th Bayelsa State Annual Thanksgiving Service, which holds as follows: Thursday, 30th October to Saturday, 1st November 2025, 3-day solemn assembly. Venue, DSP LMACA Memorial Banquet Hall, Yenagoa. Time, 4 p.m. prompt. Thanksgiving service. Date, Sunday, 2nd November 2025. Venue, Bayelsa State Ecumenical Center, Glory Drive, Ibugini, Yenagoa. Time, 10 a.m. prompt. Officiating Minister, Bishop Dr. Mike Okonkwo, the Bishop of the Redeemed Evangelical Mission. Guest artist, Dr. Aso Eki. Come, let's give thanks to the Lord our God, for He is faithful. Announcer, Honorable Ibuwoko Kuobiai, Commissioner for Information, Orientation and Strategy.
Because of what the Lord has done for us.
The acting general manager of the state-owned Niger Delta Television, Mr. Frederick Fawo, has commended members of the Christian Youth Association of Nigeria, CYAN, body under the Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, for the training of 400 youth in various skills acquisition in the state. Mr. Fabo made the commendation when the association paid him a courtesy visit in his office at the Ernest Ikole Media Complex, Ekeki in Yenagoa, the state capital. Correspondent Joyce Batowe's report is read from our studio.
The acting general manager of NDTV, Mr. Frederick Fabo, who along with other management staff received members of the association, described the program as apt in view of the high rate of social vices.
Coming at the right time because of what we are passing through in the country right now, in the state. So we want to commend you for what you are planning to do. The task ahead is a collective one. Yeah, sure.
Mr. Fabo emphasized that it will help to engage the minds of youth meaningfully and promised to partner with the association to achieve its desired success.
What's happening, cult-related issues. It's a team of joy that we have come up with these programs. How do we keep our youth very busy, keep them away from crime, keep them away from cultism? I assure you that we will collaborate with you publicity-wise.
The head of the Youth Association gave the reason for the visit to NDTV.
And by the grace of God, we are the youth wing of this Christian Association of Nigeria. And why we are here is because of the 1 Million Youth Conference that we are hosting in November 22nd. And by the grace of God, at the Ecumenical Center in Iwoke. And so the reason why we came is to partner with the media house, with NDTV, to see how we can also share publicity for this program.
The Christian Youth Association of Nigeria, Bayelsa State, a body under the Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, is organizing a 1 Million Youth Conference holding on the 22nd of November 2025 at the State Ecumenical Center, Igbogene, Yenagoa. The theme of the conference is the productive youth. The president of the association enjoins all youth in the state to attend. Ebimeseya Apa reporting for NDTV News.
Thanks, Ebi. Moving on. The House of Representatives has resolved to summon the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbe-Tokun, and the Commandant General of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, Ahmed Oldie, over the conduct of security operatives who mount checkpoints in mufti or incomplete uniforms across the country. The resolution followed a motion moved by Honorable Ibe Osonwa, representing Arochukwu Ohafia Federal Constituency of Abia State during Thursday's plenary. Osonwa expressed deep concern over the increasing presence of police and civil defense personnel at checkpoints who appear in plain clothes, jeans and t-shirts or incomplete uniforms with no means of identification. He added that such acts violate the provisions of the Nigeria Police Act 2020, which mandates officers to appear in proper uniforms with their names and ranks clearly displayed. A member from Kaduna State remarked that when officers hide their identity, it becomes difficult to differentiate between genuine security personnel and imposters. He urged the House to act now to restore professionalism and public trust in the police force. Adopting the motion, the House directed its committees on Police Affairs and Interior to summon the IGP and the NSCDC Commandant General to explain the continuing use of mufti by personnel on duty and to present a concrete plan for enforcement of proper dress codes. The committees were also mandated to conduct oversight visits to key checkpoints nationwide and report their findings within 6 weeks. Lawmakers further urged the heads of the security agencies to ensure that all officers deployed for patrol, stop and search, or checkpoints duties wear full uniforms, complete with name tags and service numbers to promote accountability and transparency. They stressed that with the festive season approaching and interstate travel expected to surge, ensuring order and professionalism, security checkpoints has become more urgent than ever. The new chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Professor Joash Amopitan, yesterday vowed to uphold the integrity of Nigeria's electoral process, describing it as non-negotiable. Speaking as he assumed work at the INEC headquarters in Abuja during his inaugural meeting with directors, the new election chief pledged to deliver free, fair and credible elections that will reflect the true will of Nigerians. He promised to demonstrate his commitment to credible polls with the November 8th Anambra State governorship election. The INEC chairman also emphasized the need for synergy and collaboration among all departments of the commission, noting that credibility in elections depends largely on internal efficiency and collective responsibility. He emphasized that the upcoming Anambra State governorship election is not just another electoral exercise, as it represents a pivotal opportunity to demonstrate INEC's commitment to free, fair, and credible elections. Adding that, with the eyes of the nation on the Commission, it is INEC's duty to rise to the occasion. The Pipeline Infrastructure Nigeria Limited, PINL, has foiled attempts at pipeline vandalism in Boni, Eteo, Eleme, Ekata, and Ogbo in Rivers communities through improved vigilance and community intelligence. This is as the security firm offered pro bono security services to all oil and gas assets in the Niger Delta region. General Manager Community Relations and Stakeholders Engagement of PINL, Dr. Akbos Meze, disclosed this in Port Harcourt on Thursday during the monthly stakeholders meeting for its host communities in Rivers, Imo, and Abia states. Dr. Meze remarked that the success have directly translated to improved national oil and gas output, thereby contributing to the lowest crude losses in over 16 years. He urged stakeholders to scale up vigilance and real-time community intelligence around the assets in the interest of national security. Meze noted that the firm has maintained zero infractions and uninterrupted operations on the Trans-Niger Pipelines TNP, sustained oil and gas operations in the Eastern Corridor, and ensured peace in the communities, amongst others. On environmental and social impact support, Meze said PINL is collaborating with relevant government agencies and environmental experts on joint assessments to identify priority areas for remediation and social investment. The PINL official said it has granted the inclusion of Biseni in Bayelsa State and other deserving communities in its surveillance engagements, adding that recommendations have been submitted to the appropriate authorities for the inclusion of more communities that host critical oil and gas assets in the Eastern Corridor. While appreciating communities and security agencies for the support and collaboration, the company urged youths and women of the communities to remain cooperative and committed to sustaining the peace in the areas. We're now moving to the entertainment scene. On entertainment, seasoned actress Boki Wright has warned fans and the general public about fake social media accounts created in her name to defraud people. And Grammy-nominated Nigerian singer Davido meets French President Emmanuel Macron in Paris. For details of these and more on entertainment news, let's join Princess Michael.
And now for entertainment news. Seasoned actress Bucky Wright has warned fans and general public about fake social media accounts created in her name to defraud people. In a post on Instagram, Wright stated that she is aware of impersonators using her name to scam people, including a fake job vacancy posts on a UK position. She assured followers that she would never ask for money, personal information, or private chats on other platforms. She disowned the fraudulent post and urged everyone to disregard it, emphasizing that the safety and trust of her followers mean a lot to her. Next on entertainment news, Grammy-nominated Nigerian singer Davido on Thursday met with the French President Emmanuel Macron at the LYC Place in Paris. Davido shared photos of the private meeting on his Instagram page, where he was joined by close associates, including his manager ASA Asika and his businessman Cubana Chief Priest. Although he did not disclose the full details on the discussion, the singer captured his post. It was an honor meeting Emmanuel Macron and sharing our visions for a better world. He also introduced his wife Chioma to the French leader via a video call. The meeting comes shortly after Davido was appointed chairman of the Osun State Sports Trust Fund by his uncle and Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke. The initiative aims to revitalize the state sports sector through private investment and youth engagement. Davido's recent engagement continues to reinforce his growing image as a cultural ambassador, blending entertainment, philanthropy, and diplomacy in presenting Nigeria on the global stage. Lastly, on entertainment news, actress Yvonne Jegede is celebrating 2 decades in the film industry, marking a significant milestone in her career. In an Instagram post, she reflected on her journey and expressed gratitude to colleagues and fans who kept her afloat over these past 2 decades. With a stunning photo, Yvonne recalled starting out as a 20-year-old, unaware of the impact the industry would have on her life. Over 20 years, Jegede has established herself as a talented actress. She has told stories, played diverse roles, and embodied various personalities. She thanked producers, cast, and crew who have worked with her, acknowledging their acceptance of her strengths and weakness, and noted some have become likely family. Excited for the future, she declared, "For me, life begins at 20 and promise more to come." That's all for entertainment news. I am Ojeke Ibitari reporting for NDTV Entertainment News.
To end the news, another look at stories that made headlines. The Bayelsa State government has distanced itself from responsibility for the delayed completion of the Akemfa Bridge following a protest on Tuesday that disrupted traffic along the Biozin-Biama-Yenagoa road. We also brought to you a report that the Broadcasting Organization of Nigeria, BON, has announced that the 2025 edition of the Nigeria Broadcasting Awards, TNBA, will take place on Thursday, December 11, 2025 in Abuja. And finally, the new chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Professor Joash Amopitan, yesterday vowed to uphold the integrity of Nigeria's electoral process, describing it as non-negotiable. That's our package for today. Thanks for watching. I'm Sarah Dadewe Apa. Bye for now.